Good evening from Kuala Lumpur and a happy new year to all of you who just tuned in. Now let's talk about this particular news. A couple of days ago, a YouTube channel from Hong Kong claimed to have seen the leaks of all the upcoming Bandai releases for 2024 and also 2025. Now let's talk about the rumors that's seen by this particular channel, particularly on the master grade. Now we all know that master grade kits we only see about 1 to 2 maximum per year, given how Bandai is no longer focusing on this particular category. But this particular YouTuber from Hong Kong says that there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new master grades coming out. And let's talk about these two first: the new Master Grade Immortal Justice Gundam and also the Rising Freedom Gundam. Given that 2024 is going to be the year of Gundam Seed Freedom, these two kits I think is probably a no-brainer coming out for retail, which I think everybody will be able to buy. This is going to be quite a new and interesting spin, because given that Bandai don't really release a lot of new Master Grade kits per year for retail. The other leak that was shared by the YouTuber from Hong Kong was the Master Grade Lupus Rex and also Bale Gundam. Now, is it possible that Bandai will release both the antagonist and protagonist mobile suit variations coming out? Could be. Again, we don't know what his sources are, but given a track record of the last few years of all the Weibo/Chinese leaks, they've been pretty much accurate. So the Lupus Rex and the Bale could be real, but I think they would not be retail. These two master grade, if we ever see them, I think they would be highly likely premium Bandai releases. So don't get your hopes up so high. The final master grade that was supposedly coming out for 2024 is this blue colored master grade mobile suit, which I can't really tell. So what do you guys tell me what you think it is? Now moving on to full mechanics. Well, we usually get about one full mechanic kit released per year. So is it likely that we're gonna get the 00 Reborn's Gundam? Well, given that Bandai has yet to announce what is going to be the full mechanics for 2024 first half, we are still not sure what is coming out yet. This, I think, is pretty much unlikely. The full mechanics series is meant to be focusing on lesser known and also, grunt units that we typically do not survive very long. But given that the 00 Reborn's Gundam is the main antagonist unit mobile suit, I don't think this is going to see a full mechanics release. It's probably going to be a master grade release, but I could be wrong, given that last year we actually saw the full mechanics aerial. Again, never expected the full mechanics to release a main protagonist mobile suit. So I know I'm contradicting myself a little bit here, but let's see what is going to be the deal for the full mechanics line. Now, the one that really caught my eye was the supposedly leak of all the upcoming real grade kits. First up, let's talk about Pet Labor. Is Bandai going to diversify into a new IP for the real grade line after Evangelion? Well, it is possible, given that the last Pet Labor release from Bandai was all the way back in 2014 at the 1/14 scale. Highly detailed. I love that kit. So it's been almost 10 years. Is it possible? I think this could have a chance of becoming true. Real grade X Gundam, I think no brainer for Bandai to continue to release more and more Gundam real grade series. So this is probably going to be a retail release as well. But for the Akatsuki Gundam, well, this, if it ever comes true, is probably going to be a premium Bandai. But man, for those of you who have built special coating, especially gold coating kits, you will know that if you're going to buy this particular kit, it's going to be such a pain to build and maintain, because your fingerprint is going to stick on that particular finishing like crazy. Finally, there is supposedly going to be a new real grade variation, the real grade Extreme or RGEX. Is this going to be the granddaddy again? Well, I think we really have to see, right? Because the first real grade RX-70-2 was so fragile, being the first ever line product in that line. I think a lot of people who built it loved it, but it was so fragile, it was so easy to break parts as well. If they are going to release a new RGEX based on the RX-70-2, Will it going to be based on a new tooling? If not, that's going to be very disappointing. But what will be the gimmick for the EX, right? The extreme version of the real grade for this particular new line? Well, my guess, if that this is real, it is most probably going to be the LED lighting. But this is not new because we have seen this before when Bandai released the Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode version TWC, which is what they call the lighting model. If you guys are not familiar with that, check on the top right for the link because we done the review a couple of years ago. Okay, now the last two leaks that supposedly came from the Hong Kong YouTuber was the Master Grade Extreme Astray Red Frame Gundam. Will this be real? I'm kind of doubting this, to be very frank, because frankly speaking, what's going to be the gimmick, right? Because the MGEX line is all meant to be about gimmick. The Strike Freedom was all about the gold platings. The Unicorn was all about LED lighting. But for the Astray Red Frame, the gimmick is going to be what? Metal parts? Or is it going to be articulation? If it's going to be articulation, you could just buy a metal build kit for that, right? You don't really have to buy a MGEX at a slightly cheaper price. But then again, MGEX kits are not that cheap. You're probably better off spending a little bit more and buying the metal build series. Lastly, Perfect Grade. Now let's talk about Perfect Grade releases from Bandai. Usually Bandai releases Perfect Grade in a window of 3 to 4 years, right? So there's a 3 to 4 years gap between Perfect Grade releases. The last PG that we got, the last normal PG that we got was the Exia Gundam, and that was released way back in 2017. And the PGU, that came out in 2020. So it's almost 4 years gap between this and the last PG/PGU release. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Bandai is really going to retain releases under the PGU brand moniker, or are they going to go back and say, nah, let's just stick with the normal PG line, which retails for a lot less, so the margins probably are not that great. As for a new PG coming up next year, this year, 2024, I'm still trying to adjust to the dates. This could be likely because, frankly speaking, like I said, the release window is usually about 3 to 4 years plus. And frankly speaking, 2023 has not been a very good year for Gunpla, right? We didn't get a lot of MG. We didn't get a lot of great Gundam/Gunpla releases. There was no MGEX. There was no high resolution model. There was no PG in 2023. So it is likely that there's going to be a new PG. But whether it's going to be new Gundam, well, who knows? I think right now, when you ask the Hong Kong YouTuber on what is his source, he's not going to tell you, right? So when we ask ourselves, should we trust the leaks that came out from the Hong Kong YouTuber? Well, as I mentioned before, right, the last few leaks that's been coming up from the Chinese side, it has been quite accurate. So I do think that some of the things that's been leaked in the video, probably some of them are true, and he probably just put in a little bit more just to throw people off the scent that this cannot be everything that is so real that Bandai is going to file some legal challenge in the near future. So take it with a pinch of salt. I think having the Master Grade Immortal Justice Gundam, Rising Freedom Gundam is probably going to be likely retail. Master Grade Lupus Rex and Bill, probably Premium Bandai. Full Mechanics, I think we know that we're going to get one release per year, but Double O Reborn's Gundam, wow, I think that is very, very unlikely. Real Grade is basically where I think that is where it really caught my attention. I think Pet Labor, if it does come out, I think I will be one of the first to actually buy it because that series looks very interesting. But given that the Pet Labor line is quite small, if it does translate into a Real Grade line, I think it's probably going to be the same scale on height as the Real Grade Wing and also Epion Gundam. So that is my only worry, right? RGEX, if it's true, I think it's probably going to be quite similar to the lighting model Real Grade that was released a couple of years back. So nothing very new. But PGU New Gundam, well, I think that's probably going to be a PGU/PG release either this year or next year. So let's see. Who knows what's going to come out now. Everything that you see here is not from us because it's all coming from the NYC Hobby YouTube channel. If you understand Cantonese, do hit up the link. I'll put a link down to his channel in the description below. But for now, let us know what you think about all the supposedly coming release, and which are the ones that got you the most excited. For the MGEX Astray Red Frame, I'm not that keen. If it is really the Astray Red Frame Gundam, it's going to be quite disappointing for me. Okay, till then, that's all from us addressing and debunking some of the supposedly leaked from Bandai. Till then, if you're new to our channel, you know what to do. But for the rest of you, I'll see you in the comment section below. Till then, have a great 2024, guys.